Alrighty, so I know I've just talked about this to you, and I'm going to know you just a little bit more. But we're going to discuss how you should review your work. Okay, I've talked about the importance of why you should do it, but you need to review your work, and there's a certain tactic that you could do, and a lot of people don't know this. So try it out. It's very useful. It works for me. It works for all of my students. It's great. So basically, you read, first of all, from top to bottom. You read your essay from top to bottom. And then you read it from bottom to top. These little dots, they just mean like periods. So that's where the sentence ends. Just to, make it easy for you guys to understand. And this is our imaginary essay. Okay? So once you've written the essay, make sure that you if you have time, close your eyes for a few seconds. Okay? Give it a break between the essay and your eyes, because when you read your essay right after you've written it, it's very hard to find mistakes because your brain automatically fills in the missing information. Plus, you're the author of what you're writing, so it's very easy for you to know what you mean because you just wrote it, right? You have to imagine, and this is going to be true, right? You have to imagine that somebody else reading this paper, would he or she understand what you're trying to say? Would it make sense to them, right? So you need to read it and pretend to read it from a different perspective, and you need to practice this, right? Sometimes reading out loud helps because you actually hear what you're reading. But on IELTS, it's very difficult to do that, so you need to practice a lot while reading and questioning constantly what you're writing. Does it make sense? Does it need more explanation? Does it sound wrong? Does it sound bad? Does it sound good? So you need to make sure. So you read from top to bottom to check for sense. If it makes sense, if your ideas flow, if what you're saying actually is grammatically correct. Sorry, if it makes sense, not grammatically correct. If it makes sense, if the ideas flow nicely, if your essay, if it's a good essay overall. And then you read from bottom to top. So you read from the last sentence, and then you just keep going up and up and up. So what this does is checks your grammar, right? Because when you're reading from top to bottom, you're just checking if it makes sense. You're not going to notice half the mistakes, trust me, right? But when you read from bottom to top, you are forced to find grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes and comma mistakes and all types of mistakes. Because now it doesn't make sense because you're reading backwards. Obviously, it's not going to make sense. So you're going to check for your grammatical errors. So it's very important that you read it both ways, right? Sometimes people, if you see that you're running out of time, you've got like 2 minutes, just do a bottom to top, and then you'll find so many more mistakes rather than if you were reading from top to bottom. So this is how you would review your work, and this is applicable, by the way, for task 1, task 2, any other type of writing that you do. This is a great way to check your work, because it gives the double end, and you actually will find almost all of the, if not all of the mistakes that you have made while writing the essay. So make sure you check it both ways.